Let's do it.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the June Real Talk About Real Estate. My name is Michelle, and I'm the marketing lead for the ABR designation. Today, I'm joined by Karen Stang, who is a broker and owner of Carriage Realty, Inc. in Minnesota. This month, we're talking about marketing to your buyer clients. As a reminder, we are live, so if you have any questions or just want to say hi, leave us a like or a comment on the video. Karen, why don't you start us off by sharing some advice that you received in the year 2000?
Thanks, Michelle. Well, in the year 2000, I had just taken over Carriage Realty and became the broker. And the best advice I was given by a mentor of mine is if you want to be seen as an expert in your industry, be seen as one, meaning there were three strategies that you could utilize to be seen as an expert. One that I still utilize today is you can become a speaker for a course called Homestretch. Homestretch is a HUD approved course for first time home buyers. Many first time home buyer programs, the buyers have to take this Homestretch course in order to obtain their financing. So this course is an explanation of the home buying process. Again, it's HUD approved. It is provided by sometimes the CDA in different counties, and NeighborWorks is a nonprofit that is also national. They provide the course as well. And Michelle will probably include the link to our local NeighborWorks, which does it for both Ramsey and Hennepin County. If a buyer takes the course, their certificate is good for at least 6 months. If they don't qualify for the first time home buyer funding, it still helps that buyer be positioned to be knowledgeable before they even start working with a realtor. I love it because I can post socially. I'm a speaker this Friday. Come join us for the Homestretch course. So the nonprofit also shares that, and socially, people see that I'm an expert. You can also invite your clients to attend, put it on your newsletters. It's a great way of showing that you are a speaker. And don't be afraid, they have everything on a PowerPoint so that you just have to read through it. And the worst thing that could happen, a buyer might ask you a question that you're not familiar with. And do as you would if you were in the field and had that. Tell them that you don't know, but you will find out. And then follow up with the nonprofit so they can share that information. You will become a trusted advisor, not only for that group of students, but also for the nonprofit. Many times I have them reach out directly to me with questions, advice, and looking for resources. So I love it. Become a speaker for Homestretch. The second advice that I was given was simple, but get involved in your local, state, and I could say national too, but Realtors Association. By doing that, you are involved in helping to make change. Your voice is being heard, and you can be involved in anything from the diversity to forums committee, the governmental affairs. I've been on all of those, and I must say I've learned a lot, and I've met amazing realtors, other nonprofits who are in the business. It expands your resources and your networking base. So when you get that next listing, you can share it with all your friends that you've met who are realtors on the committees with you. Getting involved, selfishly to me, it's a way of helping, but I get so much more out of it. I think any volunteering is usually that way. So you could also throw in volunteering with local nonprofits, whether it would be the food shelf or any other organization, because I feel that should be part of your business plan. How are you giving back? And it doesn't have to be just real estate. So the third way that I found that you can position yourself as an expert is to be involved in your local chamber of commerce. For a while there, I was involved in 3 chamber of commerce, and I must say it was becoming almost like a second job. So I scaled it
Yeah.
down, and yes, now I'm only involved heavily in one chamber, but I still have the connections from the other 2. So if you're not that busy, invest your time in the chamber. I have been on the board of directors for the Stillwater Chamber of Commerce, an ambassador on different committees, and that alone has had helped me meet other businesses that maybe now I know my local printer. I know different people who can help me grow my business, but it's also about how can I help not only them with their business, but maybe connecting them to other people that I know. So be a connector of people, not just what's in it for me. So that
Love it.
was the yeah, that was the best advice I was given. And especially if business is slow for you right now, break it down and get back to basics. How are you giving back? And if you have the time, all the more so that you should. However, today we're going to talk about some marketing tips that you can use to position yourself, just general marketing, but also throughout the home buying and home selling process. We do that by breaking it down into a simple Excel spreadsheet. And Michelle's going to share what I have used. And you may laugh at how simple it is. It just has the months on the left, January through December, and then how I will communicate with or what events I will do, whether it be mail or quarterly newsletter. It's a combination of written form, videos, and events. And if this is too small for you to read, that's okay because I'm going to break down each one of these and go into more detail so that you can see. But make sure that you plan it out. If you have a team, then they know when to do what email, newsletter, phone calls. But if it's just you also have a guide. So you don't let your marketing fall into place just when you have time for it. It has to be intentional and it has to be time blocked so that you make sure that you're consistently communicating with your clients. You don't want to be the friend that just pops up once a year. It's a relationship. And those relationships with your clients will create more business for you. And that's less expensive than any marketing or advertising. So have a consistent communication plan and execute that with your team. So, one of the first things that I started implementing that I've had just fantastic feedback from our anniversary cards. And here is the ones that I received I purchased these from the REBAC print shop. And what I love is you may not be able to see, but my photos right here, it's branded for me. This is a happy house anniversary. Love, love, love these. My clients have loved them so much and posted socially. We have the sweetest realtor who remembered our anniversary. So when I have a closing, I put it on another Excel spreadsheet. And so for the month of August coming up, I know whose anniversary is coming up and I know what type of cards to email them. I have my assistant uh, label them and stamp them and return address, maybe put a cute sticker on them. But I always personally handwrite them. You don't want to just send out a card that's cold, happy anniversary. I put the date on it, happy house anniversary on this date, and hope you still love your home. Maybe say hi to their kids. Make it personal. Hope you're enjoying this hot heat wave like we are in Minnesota. But if it's not a first time home buyer, then I have cards like this that you can get at Rifle Paper. It just states congratulations. So this is a certain type of seller that I might use. Or if you have a seller who really loves cats, then I use this one. Cat lover note cards. Make it personal is the point to your client. So I have a variety of cards, and again, I get them ready well in advance. So I don't have to do August anniversary cards now. I had them done 6 months ago. Here's another one that I love. I use a local crafty person who makes these hand created cards. This one states, "In times of great joy, each of us wishes we had a tail to wag." So if you have a dog lover who's a client, this is a great card to send. I've had clients put this up on the refrigerator, take a photo, and say, "How thoughtful of our realtor." Those are the things that you know then that your marketing is working because you're getting great feedback. So that gives me chills. It's how can you not love to spread love around to other people?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a easy way to have a touch with those clients. Sometimes we feel awkward just picking up the phone and saying, "Hi, I have nothing to say. This is an anniversary." It's an easy way. You can also do birthdays. I've just found that I'm not as organized to do birthdays for uh, um, two two buyers, and it would get too large for me. So I skip that, and I can't even remember my family members' birthdays, much less my clients. So do what works for you, but put it in that spreadsheet. Have someone help you and execute it. Many times I do my anniversary cards in November or December or maybe January when it's slower so that I'm spreading it out and getting it done over a month period so I'm not doing 50 cards in one day.
Smart.
Yes. So the anniversary cards is a tool that I started utilizing maybe just about 6 or 7 years ago, and the response has been awesome. So, highly recommend that as a marketing tool. But throughout the process, you can use marketing tools that are already created for you, or you could use these to create something on your own. Um, ABR has some great flyers that you can use. One is 5 reasons to sign a buyer's rep agreement. And Michelle has that one too, but she will be putting a link up, and there it is for the print shop. You can get any of the brochures or flyers that I'm talking about today online, and there might be ones that you prefer that I just don't utilize. What you can see with mine, though, it is again personalized with my photo, and it's just a nice, it comes on thick paper. So I put this in every buyer's folder. We have a buyer's consultation with every buyer to set expectations about the process. This would set expectations about 5 reasons to sign a buyer's representation agreement or 5 frequently asked questions about a closing. If you answer their questions before they even start viewing homes, it takes out the stress. But it's hard to anticipate what questions are they going to have. If you have a buyer who is more detailed, maybe an engineer personality, or you can just tell they like to read line by line, get them as many brochures as you can ahead of time, or especially if you did the virtual meeting, when you meet with them in person, we have a folder that we give them with our business cards and information about, say, why to sign a buyer's rep, but then also maybe information on inspections, warranties. So they review that before we make an offer on a house. So when you're making an offer on a house, you're not worried about, oh dear, what is a warranty? What about an inspection? So give that ahead of time. There is also a welcome letter that ABR or REBAC has too with key contacts. I use this frequently. Um, this one is just a generic one, but you would fill in everything from your favorite restaurants to who takes care of the electric and gas. By providing what we have our carriage concierge service, we help you every step of the way. So we want you to know that you're not alone in setting up your utilities. So once the inspection has been waived, we send that in our weekly updates. If you do not do weekly updates with your clients on a consistent basis, I would start. So every Monday, we send out one that says hi, and there should never be one that you're not providing value. I serve on the Minnesota Realtors Professional Standards Committee, and one of the biggest complaints that we hear many times is that the general public is stating that my agent listed my house for sale and then they left it. So don't fall into that trap. I think we do a lot of work from beginning from when you list it until closing. Show that value. What are you doing between now when you work with a client and closing? So it doesn't matter if it's a buyer or a seller. So if you have 5 frequently asked questions about a closing or what to expect, you can give that to them, and then it's answering their questions again before we even get to a closing. What about a final walkthrough? Do you have a canned template? What's a final walkthrough? Explain that. So you also have your business procedures in place. It's a business practice. Do you educate your clients or do you let them just show up and figure it out? Tell them ahead of time and you will be rewarded. So back to our Excel spreadsheet that had some of the marketing tools. One of them would be events that we would have. And we have had great success with, we've rented out a movie theater previously and only had that, and that was in the fall. That was for the movie Frozen. This was pre COVID. And oh my gosh, the feedback was amazing. Michelle and I were talking about possibly having an event. Um, a Facebook Live. So if you would like that, add that to the comments because we'd be happy to share how we provide a renting out a movie theater because trust me, it is a process. And once you've been through it, it's easy. You know what to do, but you also know what not to do. But for example, we had someone dress up like Elsa so that the people coming could take a photo with her. It was phenomenal. The kids were bouncing and so excited and happy to see their favorite realtor before they even went into the show because I brought them Elsa. Yay! So, renting out a movie theater or planning that ahead of time, we have a small team of 5 agents, so it's easy for us to combine. And we have an entire Carriage Realty event. And so if you feel that you don't have enough clients, partner with other agents in your brokerage so that you can also share the expense too. One other marketing event that we've hosted with great success is a manicure pedicure event. Now, we did that in the spring, so we have usually 2 events per year, one at the beginning and one closer to the fall. Usually in January or February is when the market's starting to pick up and you want to light a fire under them. So, what we did is we had a manicure pedicure event. We thought with Valentine's Day coming up, let's just share some love with our clients. And if they have a Valentine, fantastic. But if they don't, they can come to our event and share in a little love. We had food, Prosecco, and manicure or pedicure. And again, we have some tools of how to make that easy, but we also pulled in our partners. And these partners helped us at offset the cost, but also they were there to help make sure things flowed nicely, sharing the food, the beverage, and just chatting with people. It developed a lot of referrals for each one of us, even the home warranty provider. But again, check with your broker for guidelines, especially for RESPA, to make sure that everyone is paying a fair amount and you're using it for marketing and advertising. We also do another event in the fall, and that is an easy one that if you haven't implemented, I highly recommend. It's our annual We Are Thankful for You. It's our pie giveaway. We do it the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and it is so much fun. During COVID, we had the pies outside so that people would sign up for a certain pie, and then we would put their name on the box so they could come and pick up the pie. We're in Minnesota, so the pies were chilled naturally, sitting outside, and we had usually had one person there to check off people and make sure that we also had giveaways, a little goodie bag for them. But many of our team would be at the event too to say hello, especially given COVID, and we are trying to socially distance. That FaceTime with people, even with a mask on, was just so nice to see people and help them safely. Now that we're sort of getting out of COVID, hopefully, we will do it again and it'll be the same way. Some of our realtors, though, personally drove the pies to their clients. And we're so touched, especially for any of your clients that might be elderly or homebound. So we offered the delivery service too. If you work on a team, we had a ton of fun with this. We are foodies, so we sampled pies from many different bakeries around our area, and there were clear winners for the apple, pecan, and pumpkin. We knew there were two bakeries that were hands down the best. So we used those two different bakeries, and the bakeries loved us too for that. So we promoted them, and we had clients calling us back to ask us. We threw away the box, but what pies were those? Because they were phenomenal. If you are going to do this, I highly recommend using a really good quality pie. Do not use one that you can get from I don't know, a like a
The grocery
Walmart.
store.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Walmart or Costco could maybe have great pies, but it might be hit or miss. So try them ahead of time. We also had cute labels made up that we are thankful for you and grateful for you. It was adorable, and the feedback has been awesome. Some of our lenders, we had a lender who would put up a banner. So it was a business event done in a relationship way. So you're reaching out to your clients. You can even call them and state, "We have a pie giveaway coming up. Would you like one?" "Oh, I didn't check my email. I would love one." So that's an excuse for you to reach out to clients. So if you're shy, which I don't think you are if you're a realtor, but if you're shy and don't want to call your clients, this is a good excuse to call them. So make sure that that's included in your newsletter as well. Then you're training your clients to read your newsletter because there's fun information. Going back to the HUD approved homestretch course, NeighborWorks, or your CDAs, June is National Home Buying Month. Many of them are offering free homestretch courses. So you could include that in your newsletter. So by having those relationships gives you good information that you can share with people socially or in your newsletter. So don't just send out a newsletter. Make sure you have good information in there that people could have a takeaway. Just showing your houses, well, if I'm not buying a house or thinking of selling right now, they're going to swipe. They're
Right.
not even going to look at it.
Also, then what separates you from the other neighborhood agent? It's just like, okay, they're just pushing this out. They're just trying to get attention. But there's like, I think you said before, like, what's in it for me?
Exactly. Everybody wants to know what's in it for me. So instead of just thinking about what's in it for you as a realtor, give back and volunteer. Volunteer with NeighborWorks, with your association. You will get more than you ever put in. Trust me.
Love
We
it.
yeah, we also have a few other tools that they are from REBAC, or because you're an ABR, you have access to them. I think Michelle might have shared some of them, but given our market in Minnesota, there are still most houses are selling in multiple offers. And most buyers do not understand what is H&B or highest and best. How do I submit a multiple offer? How do I even submit an offer? So make sure that you have a brochure that states multiple offers, what to consider in a seller's market. Have that in your buyer's consult so you're discussing that up front. If you wait until they found the house that they love, then you're behind. They're going to be overwhelmed by thinking about how to structure their offer and is this the house for me? It helps calm and encourage your buyers. So your buyer's shopping time frame will be greatly reduced. Yay! And you're helping them achieve their dreams. So it's not just for essence of time, it's more so for they're not wasting their time nor yours because they don't understand the process. So take a look at the Reback online, what you can order through their print shop. Um, the 5 frequently asked questions about closing is amazing. And there's also what I give to my first time home buyers is this home buyers toolkit. Again, it has your information on the back. So this beautiful booklet, especially if you're a small independent, but even if you're with a larger company, how do you differentiate yourself from everyone else that you work with? By having tools like this that are branded, not just, for it's for your brokerage, but also for you. So the home buyer's toolkit, especially if you have a detailed buyer, give them that booklet. Sometimes they won't even open it. Sorry, Michelle, to say that, but
It's
if
okay.
yeah, if they have it, it's like a little blankie for them and they feel comforted. And
Mhm.
buying a house can be an emotional process. So take out the stress or the negative emotion and add that warm, fuzzy home emotion for every buyer. Circling
Yeah,
back to
love that.
your yeah, circling back to your Excel spreadsheet, what do you like to
Mhm.
do? Given COVID, we have not done a lot of door knocking, but back to when I took over my father's brokerage, but everybody else was selling a lot, and I was picking up our landline back then and going, "Hello, the phone must not be working because it can't be me." Um, the market was so hot that past clients were out in my stomping ground, looked at a house, and they loved it. So they just wrote up an offer with that agent because they didn't want to bother me. So make sure that you are reaching out to past clients and potential ones. But door knocking is a way that if you live in a community, get out there and door knock so that they can see you. Hello, I'm the professional. Maybe you provide to them a list of what has sold in your community. You're not saying I sold them, but you're telling them what has sold in the area. Sometimes they will assume that you might have sold all of those, but you're going to follow the guidelines, but you're providing them the information that you're the expert on what has sold in the area. So make sure that you're seen as the expert. Another wonderful tip that I like to do, if you provide closing gifts to buyers, I like to give a celebratory either bottle of wine or something. I have this bottle of wine here that has this tag that you can purchase through the REBAC site as well. And again, not pushing them, but good is good. And I want to give them credit. So it has this cute tag on it which also flows through with my anniversary cards. And then on the back, it has my photo again. So I could use this, and there's congratulations on the purchase of your home. Or I could also get other ones that I might want to have when I'm with a seller and I have an open house. So buyers are coming through
Mm.
and I have tags on them that basically this you could take off and it's my information. So I'm not pushing
Mhm.
my business card on them, but they have it right here. So I think that's a very useful tool to utilize for buyers and sellers. Like the fact that you're offering buyers bottle of water, I have some cookies in the open house. You're making people feel at home. When they feel
Mhm.
comfortable, they're more than likely to make a decision to buy.
Yeah, I was wondering when you were saying about the open house, if you're having bottles of wine at your open house, I was like, I'll be there. But the bottle tags also fit on water bottles as well.
Yes. No, the bottles of wine are more for the celebratory closings
Yeah, I know.
or
Yeah.
Prosecco or something like that. I like to have something, I'll even provide plastic wine glasses so that I have the final walkthrough. And when I tell the clients that they can go to their closing, I'll be there in a few. I just need to lock up. I ask for permission, of course, but I've never been declined. I usually then leave a lovely card and a bottle of something with a tag on it, and then two glasses for them. So that when they come back to the house, it's the first time walking in, they basically get a hug from me. And that has been fantastic too. People will take photos of themselves, post that socially, and it's just fun. Who doesn't love fun, right? So use
Exactly.
use these takeaways or tools to implement into your business to make it fun. Because if you like it, it'll come across naturally and it won't seem like you're selling yourself. I never liked calling myself a salesperson or I don't sell houses. I help people. I think a house calls you home. So we match people. I know NAR had, the matchmaker. I love that. But we match people with houses. Um, Market and advertise from your heart, and that will come through. You will have more buyers and sellers when you do that.
I love that. Thank
Yeah.
you. I don't think we have any questions currently from anybody watching, which is fine. But just a reminder that, we are live. So now is the time to ask if you have any questions for Karen. She did mention that, I'm going to share some links to some of the materials that she referenced. As a reminder, everything is available to you in the Member Center at abr.realtor. And if you have questions for Karen after we're done here, you can tag her, in the comments as well, just to, in case you may have missed this and are watching it after the fact. So don't see any questions right now. So I think we're going to call it, but I wanted to thank you, Karen. Thank you so much. And to everyone watching for joining us. We hope that you are feeling especially excited about keeping in touch with your clients and that you've gained some ideas for reaching prospects. Please join us next month on July 12th with Gonzalo Mejia. See everybody next time.
Thank you.